The big sway story we're tracking at this moment: was there a plot by extremist elements also to endanger the security of the Prime Minister? This is being asked even as a committee has now been set up by the Supreme Court under the leadership of Justice Indu Malhotra, which is going to investigate all aspects of what actually happened. Members from the centre and the state are also going to be a part of the committee. But the more important question here is being asked about the involvement of radical elements because of series of events that have taken place so far. Even as the hearing was on in the Supreme Court, several senior lawyers got threatening messages from pro-Khalistan forces. Earlier, the Supreme Court itself had been warned against taking up this case of the Prime Minister's security breach. A similar threat was issued 2 times now, and we have also got an intel note which shows that how over the last 2-3 months there is a concerted effort to try and create a wedge in society, especially between Hindus and Sikhs, and targeting in particular the Indian armed forces. And all of this was done by purported Khalistan handles, which of course are nothing more than a front for Pakistan. Let's lay this out for you. Joining us is Bhavtosh with the details of exactly what happened, and this intelligence has also been provided to the Delhi police, which eventually cracked down. What exactly was the blueprint of this entire conspiracy in order to use an old and fake video, a morphed video, in order to create this rift? Bhavtosh.
Padmaja, on Sunday, the Delhi police issued a statement and they said that they have blocked 40 Twitter handles that originated from Pakistan. These Twitter handles tried promoting a fake video in which voice was superimposed on a video, and claimed that Sikhs in Indian Army should be, all of them should be sacked. Delhi police carried out investigation and found that these videos are all of them are in fact fake, and the origin of these videos were found in Pakistan. Now, all these videos were in fact came into existence last October and November, and in a very concerted manner, these videos in fact started making rounds of Twitter the day when Prime Minister's security was breached. Now, the Delhi police registered a case under Section 153A, and then starting from Monday onwards, several lawyers received these threatening messages on their phone. First, around 50 lawyers received these audios, and then again today, around 50 of them again received these pre-recorded calls. Now, Delhi police took serious cognizance of these audio recordings, and they have now registered a case under sections of UAPA and also that of criminal conspiracy. Origins of these calls are still to be deciphered, but it's being said that these calls could have come from UK, and a special cell of the Delhi police is now probing this case.
Well, in fact, it's not just the lawyers who were threatened. A similar threatening call was also made 2 times now. Listen in.
SFJ will raise Kesari, Khalistan in Delhi, and will blast Modi. SFJ will raise Kesari, Khalistan in Delhi, and will blast Modi. SFJ will raise Kesari, Khalistan in Delhi, and will blast Modi. SFJ will raise Kesari, Khalistan in Delhi, and will blast Modi. SFJ will raise Kesari, Khalistan in Delhi, and will blast Modi. SFJ will raise Kesari, Khalistan in Delhi, and will blast Modi. SFJ will raise Kesari, Khalistan in Delhi, and will blast Modi. SFJ will raise Kesari, Khalistan in Delhi, and will blast Modi.
In fact, today the BJP also took up this issue, asking why is it that the interference and the involvement of radical elements is not being questioned. There is absolutely no comment on this from anyone within the government in Punjab or even the Congress party, which is in power there.
Again today, the Supreme Court lawyers...
Are you surprised that the Congress High Command does not speak against those who seek to disintegrate India? Are you surprised that the Congress leadership will not take a position against those who seek to break India.
All right, joining us on the broadcast, we have consulting editor, Times Network, Maroof Raza. We also have advocate on record in the Supreme Court, Usha Nandini. First, ma'am, I want to ask you, what do you make of these repeated threats which are being made specifically on the issue of the hearing of the Prime Minister's security breach?
See, day before yesterday only we had received the threatening calls. So as soon as we received the threatening calls, we had informed the authorities. And today also we were surprised and we were shocked to see the same thing, and it happened today also. And we had intimated the proper authorities. So kindly see the language used in today's call. They are saying that on on 26th of January they will raise the Kesari Khalistan and will block Modi and our Tiranga. And they are also threatening the apex court of the country, saying that if you see the weddings, if you can save India from balkanization, save it. So we should condemn all these, and these are terrorist groups. And the only thing I am stating is that we don't want to play any kind of politics in this. So and I think an affair has been lodged by the Delhi police, and definitely I think we can find out those who had sent these messages. Definitely an action is required.
Absolutely. And Maroof, that also then underlines the fact that there are people who, if not directly involved in the breach of the Prime Minister's security, these extremist elements at least are trying to use that issue in order to muddy waters, threatening the judiciary, threatening lawyers, threatening Times Now, and also, of course, using videos to try and push a Divide India agenda.
See, Pasmaja, as a thumb rule, those who resort to acts of terror, they do not operate in any given manner by the rule book. They will adopt any and every methodology to achieve their aim. And one of the aims of terrorist outfits has always been to create a sense of unease and fear. And they do this by a variety of means. Of late, the use of social media has become a very popular mode for those to convey their messaging, more so when the nation state is alert and does not allow them to use the barrel to convey their sense of opposition to the way India runs. You see, go back to Punjab of the 80s. One of the reasons why insurgency flourished then was a complete collapse of the law and order machinery. Now, if we allow that to happen again, having had the experience of the 10 to 12-year insurgency in Punjab, we have only ourselves to blame. There is every reason for us to be alert. The second thing is the use of such elements by Pakistan has been a foregone conclusion. They have been involved, as records show, in two operations that happened in Punjab, Blue Star and Black Thunder, and more recently when Punjab and people from Punjab were able to connect to the holy shrines in Pakistan, some of the people who were there in the audience were identified as leaders of Khalistani groups that the Pakistani establishment had invited there to convey messaging to India and the Punjabis that we still are able to use them to create problems. The third thing is that we must understand that if they can use social media, so can we. And being what we recognize ourselves as an IT power, I think it is incumbent on the government not just to use social media for election campaigns, but use social media to create national awareness, even through television and the print, of keeping India united and not get bifurcated into who is good and who is bad purely because some people might provide you votes and some may not. Every Indian needs to stand up for India, and efforts to disrupt the 26th January event is something that we must remain alert to, and we must nip it in the bud now. instead of waiting for it to smack us on our face,
Absolutely.
as it did when the ASEAN leaders had come, and there were 9 ASEAN leaders, and saw the mess the Gujars had created on the highways of India. Don't allow that to happen again, and go on an overdrive now to try and nip off anybody, political opposition or no opposition. Anybody who opposes the idea of India is an anti-national element. And if you create embarrassment for India, you're no friend of the country, whichever political party you belong to.
Just stay with me, Maruf, and ma'am, in fact, let me also go across to Mr. Mahesh Jethmalani. Mr. Jethmalani, how serious do you think it is that advocates are now receiving these threatening calls?
Look, you can never take any threat from a known terrorist organization. I mean, the Sikhs for Justice is a banned organization under our UAPA Act. It is hostile to India. It openly proclaims secession. It believes in the Khalistan concept. So you can't take it lightly. I mean, it may just be a publicity stunt, to influence the Punjab elections, or it may be, motivated by any other aim. The fact of the matter is now there's a more concrete threat in the second video which you referred to, or the second audio which you referred to. And that is that they're going to take some serious action on the 26th. They're going to, indulge in terrorist activities on Republic Day. So I think, given that, very concrete threat, nobody should be taking this lightly.
Well, shouldn't all the advocates who are getting these calls, and we've learned that they're close to, in fact, more than a dozen people who've got these calls so far, that all of them should get together and file FIRs?
Yeah, I mean, certainly there has to be an investigation. And UAPA banned organizations should be investigated by the NIA, not by the police. This is a matter for the National Intelligence Agency. So, basically they should be doing it, the National Investigating Agency. NIA must get into this matter because it's a banned organization and the jurisdiction is of the NIA. You can't rule out, the seriousness of the threat. And in that view, it should be investigated. Lawyers, of course, at the moment, lawyers are all, aggrieved parties. We are getting this, mainly the AORs are getting, advocates on record are getting these threats. And now it's twice, right? So, it'd be foolish for anybody not to investigate these threats.
Do you see this as an attempt to derail an independent and impartial investigation into what happened on the 5th of January, the Prime Minister's security breach?
That's certainly a very strong possibility. That's the real intention. But they want to, since they're claiming in the first audio, they claim credit for the disruption of the Prime Minister's security, his convoy. If they're actually claiming that, they're obviously trying to let somebody else off the hook, maybe the real perpetrators. That's always been on the back of my mind since the first audio came out, that this may be a ploy, a sort of a decoy to take the heat of the actual perpetrators of that security fiasco.
All right, thank you very much, both gentlemen and ma'am, for having joined me. Thank you, Mr. Jethmalani. I'm going to take a very quick break. Another big story coming up on the other side. Don't go anywhere.